question? Narandas. Is it Narandas? I don't know.
Chigurudev Guruji,
Mhm.
can we really change at will, or only when moment allows us? How
That-
to really change whenever is necessary?
Wow, that will be amazing. The changing at will is like asking you, you don't like something, start liking it. When I was in Cape Town last week, somebody asked me the similar question. You see, meaning to change at will means that we have a free will. You know, you have certain freedom upon something. We can change at will. Can we do that? No. If you don't like something, I ask you to start liking that thing. It have to be instant. That's what it means at will. It's not that it take a month to change. That is willingness to change. You see, if we want to transform ourselves, if we want to change something in our life, we have a willingness to transform our life. But to change something at will, only Bhagwan has this kind of power. He can change from one second to the other, like that, everything. But us human, because we are so attached to our ideas of things, but which actually very often our ideas, we picture it very important, very great. It's always about ourselves, you know? Our ego, which we can't perceive the greatness of everything. That willingness to change, that's why it takes time, you know, because you are aware of certain idea, but some things is wrong inside of me. You recognize that I need to change something inside of me. I need to change my ideas of things. I have to change myself. But that takes time, because you're so accustomed to a certain way of thinking, certain way of seeing things, but to just change like that, impossible. But you have the choice, you see. Whenever there is a situation that you are in, you always have the choice to take it positive or to take it negative. That choice is yours. It is different from the will. The will that we can change just like this, from one second to the other. Some people can. Some people can literally turn the page completely. Sometimes you meet people in life for a very long time, you know, and then all of a sudden they don't want to know you. They don't want to see you, they don't want to hear from you. No? But that is gradual. They have a certain idea, but they have cook it, you know, inside of them. But from your point of view, it's appeared that from one day to the other. But no one can change just like this, from one day to the other. We have a certain idea, we hover upon it, and then we can transform. Whether the idea is positive or the idea is negative. So when we hold upon these ideas, then we can either grow or we can fall. But at will, we can't change. We can have the willingness to transform, willingness to change, and it takes its time like that. So. Look, there's many hands there. Just find any. Just give the mic to anybody.
Jai Gurudev. I wanted to
Can you please stand up? I have no idea. I saw your hand up. You are.
Jai Gurudev. I wanted to ask, during when Krishna went to the last time to talk to the Kuru, and he knew what is going to happen, but he still made his last attempt to stop the war from happening. And when Duryodhan tried to even get him arrested, but couldn't. So Krishna could have stopped him then and there, Duryodhan. Then never would have been the war, and never would have so many hundreds of thousands of people would have died.
Then never will be Bhagavad Gita.
That's the thing. So that my question is that when you see something like this happening, as a human being, not as Lord, but as a human being, that something is turning evil or something, is it not the duty of everybody to stand up against it?
Well, look, let's say you have seen that countless of time, you know, but people in general, how long would they stand on the dharmic point? How long? One day, they will take a candle and stand on the road. We want peace. Second day, maybe the crowd. Let's say first day you have 250,000, which say, no, we want peace in this world. You know, something dharmic is happening. We want something to change. Second day, how many people do you think it will be? Half. Third day will be half from that, you know, 1/3 only. Then until that, maybe you will be the only one standing there with your candle. After a month, you will be alone standing. You see, it's the same thing. At the beginning of the year, you have great resolution. I will change. I will start doing exercise every day, 365 days a week. I will do half an hour exercise. That's what you say to yourself, yes or no? Positive resolution in the morning, in the 1st of January. Very good. You start very strongly with that determination and willingness. Yeah. Then what happened? 1st to 10, it is regular. 10 to 31st, only the statue in the field, in the park, standing alone, waiting when he will come. No? How many times is like that? The willingness of man, they start something. I have seen that also on the spiritual path. I've seen that in the business field also of things. When something is new, maybe Swami Rebati also. When something is new, people have a urge to do it. You say to yourself, you give yourself this promise, I will change. But along the line, that promise that you give to yourself, you break it. You know, like in the Ramayana, it said, your life, even if your life goes, you should never break your promise. Those who broke their promise, they can't even call themselves a human being. You know, you give promises, but you can't even keep that promise. What kind of person are you? So, the promise that you give to yourself hold even a greater weight than a promise that you give to somebody else. Because the promise that you give to yourself, you have that determination that, yes, I want to transform. It doesn't matter how long it takes, you know. Even if you have to do exercise 10 minutes a day, even if you have, say, 30 minutes, doesn't matter, you do it 10 minutes a day, that is negotiable. You can negotiate on how long you want to do the exercise. But what is not negotiable is the 365 days. That you can't change. Because that is the promise that you give to yourself. And you have to honor that. So you see, in the story, the Leela of Bhagwan, when he went to Duryodhan to uphold that dharma, of course, deep inside he knows, like he said in the Gita to Arjuna, no? Fight. These people have already been killed. Long time, even before you think about it, I have already killed them. So there will be no chance that they could change that. No? But he have to give a chances. You see, even if you know that somebody will fall in life, you have always to give them the chance. Because you see, you don't know any moment a transformation can happen. In spite of knowing who Bhagwan is, they try to, guide him. This is where he show his cosmic form again into that court itself. But who had that vision to see? Not everybody. You know. So Bhagwan gives chances in life, always. You know. But we hold so much on our ego that we don't even perceive the chances that he gave us. Our ego is so big, you know, but we think that we are so great, you know, that we are in control of everything. We don't take the chances, or we take it for short time only, and after that, we try to finish with it. That's what we have to remember, you know. At that moment where Duryodhan was fully into his ego. Even if Bhagwan is here in front of him, how can he listen? He could not listen. Only when we put out that ego, that pride, that arrogance away from us, then we will be able to listen. Look at Bhagwan on the battlefield of itself, you know. First chapter, he didn't say anything to Arjuna. He listened. And it's a very long chapter. He patiently listened. Then he spoke. Can we listen or not? We don't. We listen so much our own drama in our mind, all the rubbish that goes through our head, that we have to listen. What we have to listen truly, that we choose not to listen. It's the same, you know. So the moment we face with certain things, you know, that challenge us, and say, yes, let's see what Bhagwan wants from us. For once, you see, we are turning that page. We are really transforming, that allowed our mind to perceive something else. But for that, we need that courage. We need that strength. We need to journey into really transforming oneself. Just like Arjuna, he had that willingness. Bhagwan gave him, talk with him, be with him, stand by his side. That you want to change, I will help you to change. But if you don't want to change, then you are left alone. So the same thing, you see, there was a man, you see, how we perceive things and how God perceives things is two opposite ways of perceiving. Our limited way of perceiving life itself is limited. And into that limitation, we find great joy and happiness. Into that limitation, we find all misery. Because that great joy, how long does it last? Not for long, short. You see, on the tray, puja plate, no? There's three things. There is camphor, there is agarbati, incense stick, and there is diya, the lamp. You have all noticed that, no? When they do in puja, there is 3 things on that. Why do you think it is there? You see, the camphor, when we burn, it burns very quickly and evaporate, finish. Yes or no? It is like your joy and happiness which you think you are happy. You know? Your happiness is like that camphor. You feel a big wave of happiness when the camphor is burning very vigorously. Jaya Jagadish, full force. But that joy also leaves you very happily, very quickly. You can't hold upon that. Then you have the incense, which burn a little bit longer than the camphor. It's like your sorrow, your misery, which you like very much, you know, and you hold upon it. It's like this incense stick. It burns longer. No? Happiness disappears very quickly, but sorrow, misery stay longer with you. Then you have the diya, the lamp, which burn even longer than the incense. That is your eternal being inside of you. So if we know about that, you know, we know it, but yet to really, because our pride, what can we gain from that? We can't perceive, we can't see. Duryodhana was the same. He knows, deep inside of him, he knows that he will lose everything. Deep inside of him, he knows that who is in front of me, in front of him, is Krishna. But he could not change. And it's good he didn't change, because you see, if he would not change, if he would have changed his mind at that moment, we would not have the Bhagavad Gita, which Bhagwan himself gave to everyone, not only to Arjun, but to everyone. So, that's why. Okay. Jai Gurudev. Okay, whatever. Come on.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you, Guruji. I would like to relate to the story of Mahabharata and what we have heard, that we should never break our promise. I can recall...
So you make 2 questions from this 2 questions, you make 1 more question, a third question.
Yes. Because
okay.
We have learned in the Mahabharata that when Bhishma faced Krishna, and when Krishna made him realize who he actually is, the Supreme Person, being, he told him that Bhishma is actually responsible for the war and that he could have stopped it a long time ago. But because of his pride, because he gave his promise, and so on, that he couldn't do it. And because he was doing the dharmic things.
Yeah, he was very dharmic.
So, and Krishna told him, the things change, circumstances change. You should break your promise. Can you explain, please, what he meant and what circumstances?
You see, there is certain promise which can be broken. Like, you see, it's not about the vow that he took, you know. It's about where he stand into discrimination towards Draupadi in the court. You see, when somebody is doing, let's say, somebody is harming somebody, that is not dharma. That you have to stand against it. You see? On that moment, Krishna said, no, you have to forget about yourself that moment. But if you think, sitting here, no, I should not, you know, because I have given my promise, you know. But you have given your promise. Which promise did he give to Duryodhana 1 day before? Yes, he will protect the Kuru dynasty, he will protect the seat of Hastinapur, he will, he will not say no to him. But he's a young kid, and you are elder. Normally, the kids have to listen to the elder. And this was opposite. You know, the elder is listening to the kids. This is where Dharma have changed already. I say, he should have been wise on that. It have never been in the Hindu tradition, but of course, in some instant, like great yogis, even being small itself, they show great example. But everybody recognized that, you know. But they all knew Bhishma Pita. You know, he had a figure. He was a figure. He was a standpoint. But everybody was looking to him. You know? And for him, even to break that little promise which he gave to Duryodhana, it was easy. But no, he held upon that. So that's what Krishna said to him. You know, you are responsible for that. Where it is, you could have said no. But you didn't stand for Draupadi at that moment. So that was already a dharma. Good. Okay. Very good, Dave.
Jai Gurudev Guruji. I curious, why always vibhuti come from deities and
Curious
icons?
about that.
What?
I'm also curious about it. No, look, vibhuti, haldi, amrit, kumkum, all this stuff, you know. It don't happen to everybody, every place. It's only some places where God chooses to give His presence. That's what it is. You know, to show His presence where it needed to. So this just now come back from Kenya. I remember some years back, I mean long time back, we were in Yes, it's working. We were in Stephanshof, and I remember I was having a talk with Rakesh, you know, and Rakesh said to me, "Oh, I would like you to be present in my house always." And I said to him, "But you have my paduka. For the first time I was my shoes actually. First time when I was in Kenya, well, the shoes is there." I said, "No, not like that. I would like to have, to perceive you, but you are there." I said, "Okay, fine." He was still here when he went back home. From the paduka, what was coming out? Water was coming out from the paduka. That water became vibhuti afterwards, and vibhuti is everywhere. Until today still. Until recently. But still there. So like that, you see, sometimes you will ask. Or you can have a fragrance, you know, you can, you are somewhere, you have a familiar fragrance, and you recognize that there's a presence there, you know. That the Guru is there, that God is there, that whoever your deity you worship, you know, it is there. Give you a presence of them. That's it. And also that is a blessing, not only for yourself, but it's also for the others. Good. Jai Gurudev.